This is the first official episode of the Flagship podcast where we talk about the rise of flag football, and we just so happen to have Dennis Freels himself, which he's coined. Go ahead, let everybody know who you are.
Grandpa. Grandpa of flag football.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've been doing it so long.
All the gray hairs. Yes.
If you knew what he looked like before he started getting involved in flag football,
before the accident,
it would shock you. But here we are. The Olympics is about to have flag football in it for the first time. Just tell me your thoughts.
Man. Like we dreamed about, I've been doing this 24 years. We have been dreaming about something like it. I don't think it's really sunk in. I'm running with it because this is our business, but I don't think it's actually sunk in that we're going to get to watch people play our game for an Olympic medal.
And talk about your game specifically. Obviously, flag has been around for a long time.
It has a long time. And all the different styles.
Yes, but there's a specific style that's going to be played in the Olympics. Go ahead and talk about that. People might not understand what the format's going to be.
So there's 4-on-4, there's 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7, 8-on-8, 9-on-9. Like there's every style. So everyone was holding their breath while IFAF had to make a decision. What are we going to do? What game are we going to play for the gold medal to give the wealthiest players in the world a gold medal?
And let's pause on that for a second because you've got LeBron James, arguably the king of basketball.
He has his gold medal.
You would probably say MJ. I mean, I know with the wrinkles, you're probably going to go back in the dates there. But as far as the fact that these NBA players have Olympic medals, what do you think that means for NFL players to finally be able to get themselves the gold?
Well, they're going to interview one of them at some point, and he's going to answer my real question. Like, are they a little pissed off sometimes when they're out hanging out with their buddies and they're watching the national anthem play for LeBron and Curry, and they're like, can we do something for that, right? Like, do they ever have that thought, or are they all just like, oh, good, glad we get to do this now?
Because think about it. These guys are at home, and during the summer, they're doing their, just before their OTAs and whatnot, and the Summer Olympics is a huge thing, and they're probably watching because they're fans of athletes and they're fans of the world specific sports, and they're probably out there watching and kind of being fans, and they've got to be thinking to themselves, we're some of the best athletes in the world.
And nothing you can do to win. I guess they could go pick up a shotgun and maybe go shoot skeet or something. I don't know, but they can't play basketball. Maybe they could. I don't know.
Some would argue
there's
that they can.
Okay, there's some NFL players who can play basketball, but the USA almost lost a couple of those games,
correct.
Right?
But now they get to play football, and it's a different iteration. Talk about 5v5 and what that's going to look like.
So we are the first flag football company in America. Back in the day, we were the first ones to play the 5-on-5 game on a field this small, on a basketball court size field, 25 yards wide. I don't know what is a basketball court. I don't even know what it really is, but it's about a basketball size court from goal line to goal line. It's a small field. It's 5-on-5. It's not what they're doing in the Pro Bowl. I don't know if the pro player, I don't know if the guys that are actually talking about getting to play for an Olympic medal, I'm not sure they realize or if they've ever actually watched what they're going to have to do to get a gold medal. They might not have yet.
So you're saying that you don't think that NFL players actually know what they're going to be?
You just saw it right here with Tony Romo in the interview right before this. Tony Romo did not know what they were going to be doing.
So talk about the setup right now that they have currently, what they're doing when it comes to the Pro Bowl, and what's the difference between the two styles?
The Pro Bowl 7-on-7. 7-on-7 is the game that they invented to play extra so that the quarterback and the receivers and the DBs can get their work. Okay. It's what they do on a high school field. There's a 7-on-7 drill in college and in the pros. 7-on-7, 7-on-7 may should have been what they chose, especially because the girls are playing 7-on-7 in college. And the girls are playing 7-on-7 in high school, so they're literally going from us, our little tournaments, little guide tournaments, to 7-on-7 in high school, 7-on-7 in college, and then back to 5-on-5 for the Olympics. I'm not complaining. I won the Olympic lottery. They picked my sport. I'm excited, but these NFL players, if they don't play it a little bit, just like racquetball on a racquetball court, I can hit walls. I can beat an NFL player on a racquetball court for sure if they haven't played much racquetball.
even though they're a great athlete. And so let's
Yes,
talk
'cause I
about
know
that
the
for
ang-
instance.
I know the angles.
There is a rise of a game right now called pickleball, obviously.
Yes.
And it's taking everybody by storm. And here's what I look at it. I look at tennis, okay? If a tennis player, top world tennis player, has to play the number one Ben Johns in pickleball, there's no way that the tennis player, even if they're more athletic and they have more skill, is going to be able to compete with Ben Johns because he knows the game. And it's two separate games. And yes, you have a racket and you have a ball. But let's talk about the fact that tackle football is very different than flag football.
We're talking about the difference really in 7-on-7 and 5-on-5. Now when you go from tackle to 5-on-5, it's gonna be they're gonna sit for a minute and try to figure out what are we doing, and then they're gonna have to play a couple games, and it's gonna be a humbling experience. Because if it's on a 7-on-7 field, you can get separation. You can't on 5-on-5. I'm letting you get a first down. You're right past midfield on a first down, and I'm playing 10 yards off of you. I'm going to make you have to get an extra point, which is somewhere pretty much between like 6 to 8 yards. I'm going to make you extra point-ish to score. I'm going to try to get you third down from the 7 or 8 yard line, and that is a hard thing to do. I don't care if you're an NFL athlete. Now, you'll be able to throw a jump ball. So I guess you can just go all jump ball with but I don't think they're going to put just jump ball guys on the field. I think they're going to want the guys, the Wes Welkers and the Tyreek Hills. I think they're going to want those guys there. If they put all jump ball guys, then yeah, maybe because they're so big and they can jump so high. But do you really expect the American quarterback just to get out there and just throw?
Well,
jump
let's
balls?
talk about quarterbacks for an instance, because right now for this moment, we're in AT&T Stadium, okay, the place where Jerry Jones built, and we're here right now, and you just got to interview Tony Romo on the field here at AT&T Stadium. You've been running flag football X tournaments here at AT&T. This is the 50s. What number is it? 53 or so.
A bunch.
But here's the deal. As a quarterback, you're the grandpa of flag football. You were a quarterback.
Yes.
Tony was a quarterback.
Yes.
We just talked about quarterbacks for a second. What is it going to look like when Hoosh, the number one quarterback in flag football right now for the United States of America, could quite possibly beat someone out like Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? Do those guys have an have
Lamar
an opportunity?
Jackson versus Hoosh, the first game, 0 chance Lamar wins. 0. Put all of my savings on it.
You heard that right here.
The fifth game, it could be close. The 10th game, Lamar may get one in. The 20th game, it maybe starts to go back and forth. But I don't know how many realistic games they're going to get to play against top world competition where Lamar can really start to see that field in those angles. He's got a rusher on him in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no one blocking for him. There's nowhere to scramble.
But you think a regular Joe, they're professional in their specific sport and field, so I say that gingerly. But you think just a regular dude is going to be able to run at this guy and pull Lamar Jackson's flag?
Yes. Now, Lamar, after a little bit, might come up with a couple moves. Like, you might watch Hoosh, what he's doing over there. And I know it sounds ridiculous. It's hard to comprehend, but just think of racquetball, things like that, and think about pickleball. Think about games where people play all the time, and it's a small field. It's a small field. That rusher knows he's going to come on his weak side, and he's going to force him. No, he's going to come on his strong side. He's going to force him to to rush to scramble to his weak side. So it's going to take away his right arm. Is Lamar Jackson right or left-handed? Sorry, I forgot.
You're good.
Is he
He's right.
He's right? Yeah, he's right-handed. That's what I thought. Just in case I got that wrong. But yeah, he knows how to play the game. He knows how to force him into a hard situation. And the defenders are going to be right a couple yards off of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
And so they know in their minds that the rusher is almost there. He has to throw right then. They're breaking on the receivers right then. They're 10 yards downfield. It's not a good thing if you're not used to that as the NFL player.
Well, let's talk about this because most people are not familiar with the formatting and how tackle football is going to differ from flag. As obviously, the fact that no one's getting tackled on the field, that's the number one thing that the general population is going to push to. But there's so much more. Talk about the intricacies of a Hoosh and someone that's been working this game for so long, and now someone like Lamar Jackson who has been playing a completely different game. Yeah, you can roll out, you can throw, but there's some different subtleties. Talk about that and why would someone like Hoosh be able to beat out Lamar Jackson?
Well, First of all, the whole world, I don't know when they're going to finally see it. I don't know what game they're going to put on TV, which
Probably
one the
the
first.
Olympics.
It probably won't be till the Olympic Games in 2028. When the whole world sees that field, how small it is. It's a little bitty, tiny field. You can't rely on the things that made you great if you're Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody blocking for you. Sometimes that guy has a lot of time to throw the ball. Those are some big old boys in front of him. Then he can scramble far this way and far that way. He has 25 yards total with a rusher that's pushing him to his weak side. And maybe he can juke him, but the rusher is perfect at pulling flags. So it's a little bitty field, first of all. Then it's just the game is so different because you're playing off of mixing things up downfield where the defense can play a zone. They are really good at letting somebody go free, forcing you to the other side, and then working on that little bitty field to get you to make mistakes. And it's knowing the clock. The games come down to a lot of really tight games.
Yeah.
I mean, for the pros, here's what you have to teach them. You want to be right past first down, or right past midfield you want to be, the defense wants to stop you right past first down. Okay, so that's what the defense is thinking. The pros aren't thinking that. This is a game of inches, and so now you have 3 plays to score past first down. Right? Or 4 plays. Dang it, I don't know if the Olympics may be 4 plays.
But let's talk about this for a second because you're talking about the size of the field. Okay, I understand that. You've got someone like Kurt Warner who played for the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena Football League. The field is smaller, so guys are able to thread the needle in between different spots. But talk about being rushed immediately without there being an offensive line, and what does that look like for someone to be able to move and make someone miss their flag? Like, are they going to just be able to juke like they do on the field? Talk about the actual movements.
If you watch these guys, the hip moves, it's a very different move than anything in tackle football. Tackle football, you're getting your head down, you're getting your arms in, you're throwing shoulders, you're doing you can't do anything. So now you have to relearn everything. If you
got kids watching this, don't ever put your head down when you're playing tackle football. But yes,
you're coming in, you're protecting your midsection. You're not doing any of that. In fact, the ball's up and it's hip moves. And these guys have perfected hit moves. They're not even thinking about it.
So we talk a lot about ball security, all these different things to not get it punched out. That doesn't matter in flag. If the ball hits the ground, what's the ruling there? There's no fumbles.
There's no fumble. It is not going to be the pros to learn hip moves.
They might have Shakira. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to maybe go on Dancing with the Stars or figure this thing out because the hip movement, you are right, it is a little bit different than playing in the NFL.
And the you know what, the biggest thing is that I don't think anybody's talked about is if you look at my hand, this is broken, this one's broken, that one's broken. After 24 years of playing flag football, these guys are having to go in with somebody running a 4-5 and throwing a hip move and going to try to go in and pull flags. It's a whole different skill set pulling a flag rather than just grabbing somebody and tackling.
And we're talking about skilled players. So primarily you're going to see the NFL players that are in. They're not going to bring defensive players, I don't think. They're going to be bringing in receivers, slots. They're not really going to be bringing in maybe running backs, but they're not going to be bringing in the defenders, I don't think. So you're really onto something there with the fact that they're going to actually have to play both sides of the ball.
So the people that are watching this interview right now that are going, oh my gosh, they're so dumb. They're just flag football guys. They don't understand. Here's what's going to happen. These guys are going to have to, they should have made it 7-on-7. If they make it 7-on-7, then I understand. There's no argument here. But the problem is they made it on a 5-on-5 field. That's a little bitty field that you can use the angles, push people to different places. Inches matter. You got to pull flags. You're gonna break your fingers. And there's just so many plays that they're gonna have. At the end of the game, they're gonna be at the end of the whole Olympics on overtime, and they're gonna have a play no one's seen the whole Olympics yet.
I love this. So here we are in AT&T Stadium. I mean, you've been doing this for over 20 years. This is not a new game. It's going to be introduced to people at a whole new level. But did you even dream that this was possible? That this is going to be something? I mean, when you're
I'm living a dream. I'm living a dream right now, and I get to play here. So to get to play here and do this and get to work with the people that I'm getting to work with now it's a lot of dreams come true that I never thought 24 years ago when we got started that was even remotely a possibility.
Where do you see flag going? I have this statement that I like to say on this podcast, and you're going to hear it a lot, which is flag forever, which in my mind, what that looks like is you can play the game of American football almost forever. Now, you're going to have 4-year-olds introduced to the game, and they're going to be able to continue to play this sport. Oftentimes, you aged out at 6th grade, and then you got a helmet, and you were put into middle school tackle football. But there's going to be a new breed of not NFL players, but there's going to be a new breed of individual that is playing this sport forever. Quite possibly.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are already doing that. I know guys that are 75 years old playing flag football. Yeah, that's and there's some guys that just played for $1 million in that tournament. I think that are in their 60s. They're great players. They put their assassins out there. They don't have to scramble. They know how to play the game. They know where to throw it.
Yeah.
They're doing behind the back passes, no look passes, and it's just they know the game really well.
So the concept of flag forever is already happening. But what do you see moving forward with the game when it comes to a kid being able to play this game in high school, NIL, all the stuff that comes with that? Where are you with the future of flag football?
Well, it's a great format for someone who wants to make sure that they can get to work on Monday morning and doesn't want to play tackle football, or a mom and dad
feel like they're in a car accident every single
and that's
Sunday morning.
That's what we did. And the funny thing, and I shouldn't say this. It sounds bad to say it, but the joke's kind of on the tackle community in a way, in a funny way, because they have to come play our sissy game to get a gold medal. And in North Texas, there's huge leagues all over the nation. But in North Texas, because we're the home of the Dallas Cowboys, hard-nosed tackle, smash mouth football,
True.
The flag football didn't really take off. When a person gets an Olympic medal from playing this game and they see the 5-on-5 field, it's going to change. There's going to be a flood of kids going, that's really cool. That looks fun. I can do that for a long time. And now I can possibly win a gold medal doing it.
Well, this has been Dennis Freels. Look him up on LinkedIn. He's a businessman. That's why he's got a suit on. But here's the deal. He is the founder of Flag Football X that has tournaments all over, the best flag football tournaments in the entire world. And he also has a manufacturing company that makes everything that you need when it comes to flag football, which is called Go Team GT. This podcast is sponsored by GT, and we would love for you to go to their website. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before you sign off, Grandpa?
Come play flag football. You'll love it. This is great. It's
awesome. I
awesome.
appreciate you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.